Finally, after over a year, I can say that I have caught up to One Piece. But today, I have finally decided to read all of One Piece, and I want to take you on my journey through it. When Zeth keeps telling him that he has to work here for a year, and he just says, no, I'm not going to work here for a year, is just so funny. And Robin was also one of the absolute high points of this arc. The mystery of what she really wants, you never really got a sense that she really cared about the mission that Crocodile was on, and of course, I did know that eventually she joins the crew. So all of the quick fights I was pretty uninterested in, but then all of a sudden, everything changed. But the reason that I don't think the Water 7 saga is a slam dunk 10 out of 10 is actually because of the fight between Luffy and Rob Lucci, but specifically Laboon. I did not think anyone was going to mention Laboon. Laboon is the best whale out there. You can't at me there. He's the best whale in existence. And post-time skip, it feels like, especially with Luffy going to be getting a lot more powerful, and same with the entire crew, that Luffy now has an opportunity to make big waves in the world. Like, could he become an emperor one day? And he deserves it. And obviously now with his bounty, he is also the 5th emperor of the sea, which is really incredible. You know, I've talked multiple times how I think he is putting himself in position to be one of the 4 emperors. It is probably one of my favorite panels in the entire series, even though it's so subtle, it's such a little thing, it's not an action scene. But that panel hit me so hard, and I've literally like caught myself just like flipping back to that page and just staring at that panel. This has been a very, very long journey, one with some highs and lows, but I can honestly say that One Piece is no doubt in my top 5 series of all time. I think Oda is a masterful storyteller, and really there's not a lot of negatives with this series. And you know, someone mentioned, I can't remember, on Twitter or in my YouTube comments about how when you first start One Piece, you're like, oh my gosh, it's over 900 chapters. And then when you catch up, you're like, it's only 900 chapters? I wish I could redouble that right now. And that's exactly how I felt when I finished One Piece. And it's been quite the journey. You know, starting out from Romance Dawn, then going through Arlong Park and the rest of East Blue, through Alabasta, then to Skypiea, Water 7, you have Thriller Bark, and then Marineford, which the Summit War is absolutely incredible, to the time skip, through Punk Hazard, Dressrosa, Whole Cake Island, and now to Wano. And it's been quite the experience. I've definitely gone through some dips in when I'm reading. The biggest was in Skypiea, which is kind of the biggest joke on this channel, and throughout, you know, me reading this, because when I first watched One Piece, I got up to Skypiea, then stopped. Second time I watched One Piece, got up to Skypiea, then stopped. And then I tried to watch it again, and I just started from Skypiea and still didn't make it through. And then reading it again through these videos, you see that I stopped releasing them in the middle of Skypiea, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why Skypiea is the place I always seem to stop. But when I finally continued on, I learned that I loved Skypiea, and then I really went on a binging streak after that. Probably quarantine helped with that, and was able to make it to the end. It's been quite a journey, and yeah, I thank you guys for watching it along with me. It's been a really rewarding experience, and I think, you know, One Piece is one of the most rewarding series to dive into. So if you're somehow watching this video and you haven't read any One Piece, just go and do it. I know it seems like a lot at the beginning, but once you get the ball rolling and you get started, it's one of the most rewarding journeys ever, and it's just an amazing story that evolves in really unique ways throughout it, from the kind of horror comedy twist and Thriller Bark to the flat out war in Marineford, to then like the crazy world of Whole Cake Island and like even Dressrosa. And kind of just looking back on how much I have grown as a YouTuber throughout the course of me reading One Piece. You know, when I kind of first came out with that video, the original One Piece video, I don't even think I had 100 views on a video at that point. Like, that's, you know, how small of a YouTuber I was. And even though I'm still not very big, most of my videos, at least when they come out, get about 100 views, and at least typically around a day, which is kind of a crazy difference. And I've seen a ton of growth in the last handful of months, which has been really exciting. I still have my journey and my goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers at the end of 2020, which, watch time wise, really I want to get monetized by the end of 20. Subscribers, I'm probably going to be a little short unless we get some videos going viral, but either way, there's been a ton of growth throughout reading One Piece. And I just thank you guys for there's been a handful of people who have commented on almost every single one of these videos, and that has been just a huge highlight for me, and kind of getting to interact with people, about One Piece, and them joining me through this journey has made it even better, even though sometimes when I was reading One Piece, it was like, oh, I don't really want to make a video, I just want to keep reading it. But in the end, I'm very glad that I've been working on this series, and I have been able to talk to you guys, and more than just, the people around me, about my experience reading it and about my thoughts about it. And of course, I am not going to stop making One Piece videos. Far from it. Just because I'm caught up to the series does not mean that the One Piece videos will stop. I probably won't be making chapter reviews, probably every once in a while, maybe every handful of chapters, but I have so many more ideas, characters I want to talk about, and things of that nature, so still be on the lookout for that for sure. I'm still going to be trying to make videos, still trying, at least for the time being, because I have so many things I still want to talk about with One Piece, still gonna be trying to keep up to that Thursday schedule. Every Thursday, hopefully, you'll see me talking about One Piece, and I hope you stick around with that. And so quickly in this video, there's a ton of nostalgia, kind of looking back to where we have been in One Piece, and also be on the lookout for a full-fledged kind of 30-40 minute analysis of why I think One Piece is a masterpiece, and so kind of be on the lookout for that in the coming months, but I need to do my due diligence for that video. But right now I also want to talk about Wano, because I haven't talked about it at all, and the Reverie. Wano is shaping up to be one of the best arcs in One Piece, and I really like, talking about kind of the things I've liked about it so far. The first thing that comes to mind is Oden's backstory. Oden has one of the best backstories in the entire series so far. Kind of exactly how it ended, with him holding all of them up while he's boiling. That was heartbreaking. I'm sure I'm not the only one who just wishes Oden was still alive, and I want to see him interact with someone like Luffy. But his backstory hit incredibly hard, and you have the great moments where you look back at his interactions with the Whitebeard pirates, how Teach, when Blackbeard joins the crew, you see a little bit into that, and then you have the amazing panel when he's with Roger, and the amazing panel of when Roger just laughed. That is one of my top 5 panels in all of One Piece so far. And so, yeah, that's really exciting. One of the best backstories, I think, in the entire series, which Oda always does it to me. It's like, oh, I don't think a backstory, can reach the level of Doflamingo's or Law's, and even just of thinking of the newer backstories that we've seen. Even Big Mom has a great backstory. And then he just, Oda just whips out this Oden backstory, which is incredible, and I plan on talking about a little more in depth in the future. One of the negatives, actually, about Wano is I think the first act took a little bit to get into, and when you look at the other kind of big arcs, you typically get a small arc that leads into the big one, and kind of 3 of the last biggest arcs, kind of excluding Fishman Island, you got Impel Down, into Marineford, and it was an arc that really, the momentum was going into Marineford. You knew what the goal was there. Then you have Punk Hazard into Dressrosa, same kind of thing, and Zhao and Whole Cake Island. But with the Reverie and with Wano, as great as Reverie is, or Levelly is what the arc's name actually is, as great as it is, it doesn't actually really lead you into Wano. So Wano, I think, takes a little bit to get going, but I think the landscape of Wano as a country is pretty interesting, and I'm curious to see how it's going to conclude. That's kind of the one thing that I was, maybe rereading it, because Whole Cake is such a great arc that maybe I was just coming off of such a big high that I wanted it to be a little bit like quicker paced. But other than that, Wano's been absolutely incredible, and the third act is shaping up to be one of the biggest things we've ever seen. We ended off with Frankie, and I think it was Frankie and Brooke, running into Big Mom's face. I think it's really interesting. I like the alliance between Big Mom and Kaido, and I'm just excited to see how is this going to shape the world, and obviously how are they going to get away from two emperors together. It's shaping up to be awesome. I'm so glad Marco came back. And then you have everything with the Reverie, right? Like, everything in those chapters in volume 90. I've had volume 90 for so long because we bought it. Me and Julie, who, if you look back at the beginning, me and my girlfriend, we started reading it together. I know she hasn't been on episodes in quite a while. We're going to do a whole podcast of us talking about our journey, reading it, and kind of what we think about it, kind of bring her back on to conclude that little loose end. So be on the lookout for that. But we bought that volume about a year ago, like pretty close to when it came out. And the idea behind it was, this is like our goal. I want this cover is amazing, like all these characters come back. I want to get to this point. And finally getting there, it's one of the best volumes in the entire series because it just drops so many things. You have Luffy becoming an emperor, and of course I love when Blackbeard's like, you're not ready for this, and then Shanks is like, oh, I'll be seeing you soon, probably. And then you move on and you to all of the people who have been affected positively by Luffy, Rebecca and Vivi, just to name a couple. And then you also get everything with the Five Elders and this mysterious guy who sits on top of the throne. Like, is that the big bad for One Piece? I'll talk about that more in the future, but I really liked that design of that character. I'm blanking on his name. Really creepy. One Piece does like little bits of horror really well, I think, for like a very typically a comedy action series. Has some moments like with Kuma, Doflamingo, of just a terrifying character, and I think that's just another example of it. And yeah, so I think Wano is in a really unique place. Great backstory. I love that Kid is getting some more screen time, and that we're seeing Kid, Luffy, and Law kind of all interact together. That's been really cool. Kaido's super interesting as well. And so I'm just excited to see more of what Wano has to offer. My guess is in a couple weeks, if any chapters blow me away, I might do a review of it, and I'll make a video specifically on Wano. I just kind of wanted to give you guys, kind of with this nostalgic video, a little bit of some of my takes on Wano, but I'm super excited about it. And yeah, that's kind of it for this video. It's been quite the journey, and thank you guys for sticking with me throughout this entire journey. Of course, there's going to be more One Piece, and I'm excited to keep talking about it. Maybe in the comments, what was your journey reading One Piece? When did you catch up to One Piece, and kind of what was that feeling? I might put some nostalgic clips of me throughout the last year in this video as well, I'm sure. But thank you guys for going along the journey. I think next week is probably going to be my video on why Sanji is my favorite character in One Piece, so be on the lookout for that. More One Piece videos to come every Thursday. And then also, if you missed this announcement on Monday, obviously my channel name is different. We're Annie Essays now, with a totally focused on anime and being an AniTuber, which I'm super excited about. But I also launched a Patreon, so if you want to support me, go check out the link below to my Patreon and support me there if you want to. And also make sure to follow me on Twitter at AnieEssays, and we can always interact there. I'm super active on Twitter. So thank you guys for sticking with me for so long throughout this journey. Just, it makes me so happy that I'm caught up to One Piece, and I'm working on a video really encapturing my thoughts on the entire series. But that's for a future video. I just wanted to say thank you guys for sticking with me so far, and it's been a great time reading One Piece along with you guys. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.